Hi, I'm Max, and this is the short story of how I designed and 3D printed my very own mathematical sculpture, this developing fractal. But first, let me explain what one of these is. This is the Sierpiński Arrowhead Curve. It's a fractal, so that means that it looks roughly the same, however much I zoom in or out. This property is called self-similarity, and is what makes the fractal beautiful. And so, by making a developing fractal, I've set out to create a real, physical object that conveys the fractal's self-similarity. But before we start on building our developing fractal, we need to think about how to draw it. And that starts with this line. From it, we can generate the fractal using a simple set of rules. Geometrically, they say that each straight line, like the one on screen, gets replaced by 3 half its length, each 120 degrees apart. And you place the new 3 lines on alternating sides of the original one, so that the second iteration looks like this, instead of this or this. Thus, from our original line, we can generate more and more complicated iterations, until we get to the one I showed at the start. But for the final object, my 3D printer can't print details as small as you can see on screen, so we're going to use just the first 6 iterations. And we're going to stack them, creating the outline of our object. So that's the plan for the object, but before we can use the 3D printer to make it, we need to model it properly. To do that, I've used some 3D modeling software called Fusion 360. First, I built the transition from the first iteration to the second, then repeated it with a lot of copying and pasting until there were the right number of layers. I've added the windows in each section so you can see through it a little. And then I used some more software, Blender this time, to turn this, which was paper thin, into a proper solid object, and it's ready to print. However, I forgot to film the printing process, and since printing took 6 hours, here's an animation instead of how it was done. And so, here's the final object. In it, you can see each of the layers from the first to the 6th, as well as the transition from one line to the 3 below it, here, 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 and repeated all the way through the shape, just like in the animation I showed when I was explaining the rules. And so, here you have it, a 3D printed developing fractal.